Good evening, everyone. I am Chris, joined once again with JXEDITOR, and it's Christmas. Happy Christmas, happy holidays, happy Yule, whatever
Happy
it is
Life
you
Day.
celebrate today. Happy Life Day. There you go. See, this is why I need you on. And we've got our own little Chewy here. Look at this. He's the co-pilot today. We've got two
This is
chairs and
no,
everything.
this is lumpy.
Well, already this is more Life Day action than we actually got in this episode of Skeleton Crew today. We're talking about episode 5. That's Skeleton Crew, episode 5. I wish we were talking about Empire Strikes Back. You have a lot to learn about pirates. That is the show that we'll be talking about today. Yeah, very disappointed. The last 2 episodes have used the same reference, but have at least had a reference to the Star Wars Holiday Special. And forgive me for thinking we were going to get some kind of Life Day or Christmas-related episode today. Of all days, Christmas Day, when they drop the new episode. Suffice to say, we didn't.
I am with you. I am disappointed, but I will not critique the episode for what it isn't.
Okay. That's fine. It's just Christmas Day, man. Like, skip a week.
No, I'm with you.
Or,
I get it, but
like...
just remember that it's going to be just remembered as episode 5. It's not going to be remembered as the episode that I aired on Christmas.
And
but they made no steps to make sure you remember that. So
no, this episode is probably not quite as filler as last week, but still for the most part feels like a filler episode until the last minute or so of the episode. This one felt more necessary than last week's.
Oh, I mean, yeah, like you could just have the you could just like sum up last week's episode with like a time lapse and just like some lines that they say voiceover.
Yeah, I think with this one as well, I almost shut it off right there and then, because they land on the planet and they go, Adin, and he goes, oh no, we're on another wrong planet. I'm like, we've got like 3 episodes left of this shit. We're gonna have another wrong planet next week, and then another wrong planet in episode 7. And then the teaser for the end of episode 7 is going to be them finding out at it, and we're not going to get there until episode 8. It's so frustrating. So just general thoughts. Actually, let's make this festive, because you're looking like really festive. You got your dog in like a little cool little Christmas sweater. We got the red and everything. Do I do this in like a really cheesy sweater crown? Do I do this whole thing?
My God. Oh my God. No. Don't straighten it out. Keep it crooked. It looks so perfect on you if it's just like
this way or this crooked.
Burn them all.
And more wine, sir. I will toast to your honor on Christmas.
3 p.m. I can't.
Oh, sure. What is it you're drinking?
Oh, water.
Cheers. And we have Cole joining us for the toast.
Hey,
Merry
Carl.
Christmas, guys, and thanks for the content on Christmas Day. You're very welcome, man. I've got nothing going on. Of course, I'm watching Skeleton Crew. It's interesting that this isn't on the main page anymore on Disney Plus. Have you noticed that? You have to like actually scrub over to... Yeah, you have to like get over to the Star Wars tab, and then even then it feels like it's a little bit concealed.
If it's back next week, then it was a Christmas thing.
Yes, yeah. That's a good point. I think Home Alone was on the main page when I went on, which checks out. I keep forgetting all the properties that Disney now technically own, it being part of Disney Plus and whatnot. Right.
I was driving during the stream yesterday. I like Home Alone 3.
You know what? My mate does as well. It's very nostalgic to him, and he acknowledges that, of course, it's not as good as the other 2, but he still says there's a lot to enjoy in it.
Yeah, it's less home. It's like Die Hard mixed with. I had this. It was like Die Hard, Home Alone, and one other movie, all mixed together into. Is
it like Dennis the Menace? Not Dennis the Menace?
No, I can't remember what it was right now, but it. Well, what
I've got I have like, because I had that movie on VHS growing up, and I watched it sort of periodically. I think even as a kid, I knew it was vastly inferior to the previous two. So it's really just a few little glimpses and shots that I remember. I remember that it's the kid from Liar Liar, and he has a remote control car, and I think he has a pet iguana, and then I think there's a trap where the robbers fall into a pool and one freezes. That's genuinely all I remember from Home Alone 3.
Yes, one freezes, one gets run over by a lawnmower.
It's the chick and the guy, isn't it, who are the two robbers in the third one?
There's like a whole team. They're
Oh,
a team
okay.
of like freelance terrorists that are working for North Korea.
Oh my god, it sounds like a Bond movie.
Yeah, no, I said I Die Hard.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
Die Hard 1, like Die Hard 5.
Yes, oh god, yeah. With Jai Courtney. Do you remember him when they were trying to make him a thing? Captain Boomerang himself. Who is dead in the James Gunn canon if his The Suicide Squad is now in canon. Anyway, should we talk some Star Wars? Skeleton Crew, Episode 5. You have a lot to learn about pirates. General thoughts on this one before we jump in bit by bit.
Like the last episode, I like the double meaning of the name.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah.
It's both a quote from the episode and also sort of a teaser for foreshadowing for how it ends. And oh bloody hell. It seemed like it was probably a good episode if you like the show.
It's more of Skeleton Crew, right? I will say there has been a massive drop off with these last 2 episodes, right? Yeah, because last week I wasn't too keen on that one. It was a bit filler. And this one was marginally better than last week's, I think. But my god, there's a whole shower of shit in this one today. But let's go through it. So opening
mud.
scene. Yeah, oh yeah. so much mud. It was very Canto Bite-esque, I felt, in some
I
bits
was
of
getting
this.
Canto Bite vibes as well. I was wondering if I could use any of this for that.
Mm-hmm. So we open back on At-Atin, and you have the parents. Well, it's the blue-haired elephant lady, so the mom of Neil's character. I don't remember her having blue hair. I was like, she's just one septum piercing away from a bad time, really, isn't she? At this point.
Well, I had a note that I forgot to read last week that I didn't notice that Neil had blue hair, and so I didn't register that she had blue hair. I just registered that I forgot I said that when I saw her, and I bet it was because I saw her blue hair.
Yeah. Oh no, you're dropping out a little bit. I think you got to move the laptop or move the modem a little bit to the left, and it should be fine. Carl says, I do feel the pirate theme is starting to lose its charm. Yeah, I'm kind of getting that. The end of this episode, I know we've kept saying it loads, but it is Goonies, like 100%, like the booby traps and everything, and like the treasure room that they have. It pretty much just is a pirate show with a vague Star Wars veneer on it. What do you think, to Carl's point there? Do you think the pirate theme, do you think it had any charm to begin with? Do you think it was completely out of place with Star Wars to begin with?
Oh, no. Definitely. Pirates and Star Wars totally go hand in hand.
To this level of pirates, though, like proper yar, swashbuckling kind of pirates.
Hondo Anaka was already pushing it a little bit. This was definitely very, very on the nose piratey.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised we haven't seen a Koikian monkey lizard on anybody's shoulder.
Yeah, there's still time. There's still a few episodes. Give it time. When we see what's the captain called? Captain. I did have the name on here somewhere. Yeah. Well, there's that guy, but then the old captain on the hologram.
Oh yeah, who we didn't see their face. So listen, I stand by. Going by with the designs of just Inquisitors in general, there was nothing interesting about the Inquisitor in Ahsoka. He was always just fodder.
Yeah.
if there isn't a reveal, that was fucking stupid.
There's gonna because the glitch was conveniently over the face, wasn't it?
Right over his
So
face.
or her face. I'm standing by that.
Oh,
I think it's still gonna be. I think it's gonna be the
I am your
chicken.
mother.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be that. It's the or that or it's gonna be Darth Maul, but then he would have ignited the lightsaber on the hologram. So you and
No,
I, Jude Law, will be working together very closely.
I think the ship is too old for that. From what I could tell.
Yeah. Just trying to bring up the name of the pirate. Let me see what the captain was called. The captain was
He's
called.
probably the supervisor.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Yeah. So fuck. Reynard, Tack Reynard, isn't it? They mention, if I remember rightly from this episode, that this legendary pirate of Tack Reynard took a ship, famed pirate, took the ship and disappeared on Atatin, wasn't it? They went to this treasure planet, which was looking for Atatin, and disappeared, and nothing was ever heard from the pirate again. Well, there was a downed ship on Atatin, which the kids found and flew into space with, which has been sectioned off, and this whole prosperous kingdom built on the back of treasure or whatnot. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the supervisor.
Yeah, the supervisor.
Yeah,
he's the supervisor is the reason they've been cut off from the Republic. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think
that's what why they don't know about the war and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Just
I mean, also,
John Cleese in, he'll tell them all about the war.
Also, wouldn't that just be a Disney thing to do? And if they handle it well, it could be a good character. But have we seen the adjudicator? Was it the one who came in to talk to the kids in the first episode?
Carl, not a chance.
Any chance the pirate and the hologram is Hondo Anaka? It's their way of working him in the live action. Yeah, I think isn't. I mean, I don't know how long
Hondo
those
had his own
live
reputation to. People knew who Hondo was.
If you get Hondo, you're gonna get him in Mando in the Mando movie or something, or Ahsoka.
And you're gonna get Hondo. You're not gonna just get a tease of, "Ooh, who is he? He's Hondo."
Well,
no,
we still haven't
get Hondo front and center. Why did I do Italian?
That's not his voice. We haven't properly had what's his name? Is it Zeb? The fucking purple gorilla character from Rebels. We had him a little bit. Ironically, not in the show where all of the Rebels characters are in, so that was strange.
Right. But he's the design for Chewbacca from the original Ralph McQuarrie art.
I feel like they've just done that with everything now. Disney. It's let's go back and use that unused concept.
That was everything in Rebels, the whole. But the art style was that concept art.
I know Snoke's throne room. Oh no, sorry, it was Vader's castle in general, but then the throne that Vader sits on, or it could be Snoke's throne, I'm not sure, is based on the design of a Vader throne room scene, I think, or the Emperor's throne room scene.
I know exactly what. So, yeah, the idea of it's kind of the Exegol, underneath the Jedi Temple.
Yeah. So.
Which you might be able to do if you can get Kylo going through the Jedi Temple at the beginning somehow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, AI. Anyway, let's get back to the episode. So you have the parents talking amongst each other, and the dad tries to hack into the company that he works for's computer system. It's to get a message, isn't it? Is it to get a message past the barrier in order to try and triangulate where the kids have gone or something?
Yes, he's trying to get a pass so they can circumvent the barrier with the message.
Yeah. And this dad needs to fly more casual because he could not look more guilty. He's frantically turning around and looking over his shoulder. The man's profusely sweating. And of course, the droid clocks him from across the room, and he's like, "Hold out your hand, sir." And he holds one hand behind his back. It's
I'm going to have this bit for a bit.
Yeah, I'm going to have to see the other hand, sir. No, both hands, sir. It's dude, can't do anything right, can you? Come on.
It's a very kid show moment. If I had to rationalize it, I guess it would just be a more like simple program droid that's like, do this, don't think.
Yeah.
It can't jump to conclusions.
And then he's basically told in the office after that they're going to have to work smarter and go behind the supervisor's back in order to get this message out there. And that's it. Sort of following on the tradition, really, of at least this and the last episode, where you begin with a very, very short scene with the parents, just to kind of remind you of the state of things back home. And then we're pretty much with Jude Law and the kids for the remainder of the episode after that. Oh, is everything all right?
Okay.
Is the dog wanting to go walk about? He got spooked a little bit.
Something fell over. It's okay, buddy. You can jump off if you want.
He has
Okay, you
free
won.
will. Yeah. There we go. Dude, I thought you were fucking levitating the dog then for a second, because it looked like you went to pick him up with your right hand, but you actually did it with your left, and you looked like you were Jude Law using the Force to...
The
Force is not a power you have.
Somewhat.
The Force is not a power you have. It's not about lifting dogs. Lifting dogs.
Sacred Island. Watch the language, you bitch.
Nice. Yeah, then we cut to our main crew after that. Do you have any more notes or speculation on the whole parent part, or?
For a second, when the blue elephant lady hands the dad the widget,
yeah,
and like it shows it in her hands, we see her fingers, and I thought she was handing him like bundles of plastic explosives.
He's gonna be like Miles Dyson in T2. I'm not sure how longer I can hold this. Just blows the fucking building up. His last name's not Akbar. He's not allowed to do that.
Jesus Christ.
Right, then we cut to our main crew. Swiftly moving on. So this is where we've kind of already mentioned this anyway. Jude Law tells the story sort of with SM-33 of a legendary pirate that was looking for Atatin but disappeared. Smee. That was looking for the planet of Atatin and but disappeared and was never saw again. And well, this is interesting because I thought so either the adjudicator or whatever it's called, the supervisor, whatever, is either going to be the captain, or they've now specifically mentioned the captain's concubine.
Oh yes, that's a good point.
So the captain could very well be dead, and the
yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah. Well, he says that the captain, the captain was killed by. Well, yeah, but that was like a. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, maybe they're one of the same. Did we ever see the captain and the concubine in the same room as each other?
Smee did. Yeah, he saw one stab the other.
Yeah, because the captain was apparently killed by the concubine. But then you raise a great point. It's that, well,
unless the concubine captain said run memory override.
Well, you're saying the droid was the captain?
No, the concubine who was also the captain said memory override. You saw the concubine stab the captain.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point. But even
that's
still,
the thing they just keep doing.
Yeah, I mean that the hologram could be a red herring, so we still think that it's going to be the captain, or the captain might be out there, but actually it's going to be the concubine. It's going to be the adjudicator or whatever it is. Dirty Sanchez says, "Hey fellas, Merry Christmas." Oh, of course it was your Christmas yesterday, wasn't it? Yeah. So happy Boxing Day, I guess, to you,
so it's
Dirty
the
Sanchez.
Farthest day from Christmas for you.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I just put in my note. I just put, well, that's totally going to be the adjudicator then, isn't it? So I have been wrong before, though. I have been wrong before.
Smilo Ren,
I thought Smilo Ren was going to be Mother Erisea, or whatever the fucking name was. The black smoke monster from Lost. Literally, the black smoke monster from Lost. And then we cut to a scene of, I keep forgetting his name. The main kid who wants to be a Jedi. Wim? It's Wim, isn't it?
Wim,
yeah, that's it. And
he does everything on his name.
On a whim, yeah. What about is when his best friend called Quim?
Oh, but wait, the part with at the end of the scene with the them telling the story of the ship and everything, where
Mm.
Smee just gets up and breaks all the ropes.
Mm-hmm.
I chuckled at that, and also it was pretty obvious. It was a good way to show, okay, yeah, no, he's not a threat to them at all.
Mm-hmm. Carl says, I heard a theory that the captain is the mouse that keeps popping out of the robot's eye. Oh, God, you know what? If they do that, you know what line they're going to drop, right?
That's some Yoda shit.
Yeah, judge me by my
Size matters
size, do
not.
you? Or size matters not? Yeah, take your pick. Oh, boy, they're going to do that, aren't they? At least it's not
No.
Mickey. At least it's not Mickey Mouse. Just pops out the eye like.
You
Woohoo!
think the captain's just been living in his droid's skull for centuries? What? Not
Long have
centuries,
I
but
waited. Dude, it makes about as much sense as the Palpatine plot in Episode 9. Yeah, so we cut to a scene of Wim, and he's crying. He says he misses his parents, and Jude Law actually kind of gives him some sound Jedi advice, but just kind of words it fucking horribly. And he
well,
says,
he's taken Jedi philosophy and like forced it through a pirate filter.
"Yeah, yeah," which I actually kind of dig that. That was kind of funny.
Yeah,
He's so he uses some
your
Jedi.
focus determines your reality.
Your focus determines your reality, and I did actually write that down. Is that a Qui-Gon quote? It sounds very similar
It
to something that Qui-Gon would say.
always remember your focus determines your reality.
It's when he puts Anakin in the pod race, right?
No, I think that's actually back on Coruscant.
Oh, on the landing platform that Darth Plagueis is totally
Yeah.
spying on at that time.
Yes, he's just over there.
Yeah, the dude could have ended it all right there. Not by throwing himself on the platform. I mean by like actually doing something and killing Qui-Gon and Anakin. But so yeah, he says, you want my advice on how to get over your parents and the loss of them and whatnot? Forget them. Like cut all attachments,
Miss them,
abandon
do
all
not.
attachments. Yeah, warn them, do not.
Warn them,
Miss
do
them, do
not.
not. Yeah, that was great. And it at this point, it just gives us more little nods that, you know, with the whole using the Force in the first episode, and then this, that, yeah, this guy either has Jedi training, is a Jedi, or is at least Force sensitive. I think by this, we can at least infer that he is a Jedi at this point.
He was once a Jedi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I'm gonna go. I just want to say, if I agree about the fillerness of this episode because my next note is just Dollops. One word.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot between then and there, though.
Yeah. But I actually
This
think
episode
that's
was
kind
longer
of
than it
fun.
needed
Like,
to be.
but I mean, if he was, you know, a youngling taken away from his parents, you know, years of Jedi training, even he might have been a Padawan maybe when Order 66 happened and the Purge and whatnot. But then he's
That
just
would
kind of
line up.
thrust out into the galaxy. He's got to abandon all of that shit, or at least keep it under wraps. He's got to make a way for himself in the universe. He's just kind of fell into pirating and can occasionally use the Force for his own means. I actually think that's kind of a cool angle to go down.
Mm-hmm. Now he's got a
And
lightsaber.
Jude Law plays it great as well. I will say that. Like the dude's
He
a great
does.
actor. Yeah, because he can
What did you think
be
of the
he can
lightsaber
be.
bit?
Oh, we're jumping right to the end.
No. Sorry, I just remembered that happened, and I was like, man,
We'll
how
get
come
to
that's
that
never
part.
happened before?
Yeah. Let's see. Dirty Sanchez says, when you're done with the Star Wars review, I'd be glad to give you a nitpick after watching your edit again today, if you got the time later. Yeah, so either drop me a comment now in the live stream and I'll process it, or drop me a comment on that video and I'll read your comment afterwards. But yeah, give me all the criticism, dude, because I'm gearing up to do my next version, so that'd be great. Cole says, whenever the robot starts talking about the past, the mouse always pops out. Ooh. You might be onto something there, Carl. I didn't even think about that. That's good. I'm going to be watching out for that now in the next episode. You could be right. Right, let's see. So then we fly to our next planet, which is, I did note the name down somewhere, Lanupa. I couldn't quite hear what they said, and I don't have the subtitles on. That's my own bad, so I have to like check it afterwards. Lanupa, and it was, what is it, Skull Island or whatever it was called, Skull Mountain, Devil's
Yeah,
Canyon.
Skull Rock. Yeah, the gorge of death and big pointy teeth.
um,
Just
yeah, so they fly there, which was like a proper legendary pirate location that the droid knows. But so the droid's flying there, and he knows where they are because he's kind of giving them the history lesson of what this place was and how important it was to pirates. But then Jude Law says, "Oh, you brought us to the wrong location," and then he's like, "Oh fuck, I did. This isn't Atatin." So I was a bit confused there because it seemed like the robot knew where he was taking them, but then was surprised that again it wasn't Atatin for a second time.
no. He told them that because he said that the captain scanned at Atten's uh coordinates and then put him in his cave. I
Mm-hmm.
think that was in the rope scene.
Okay. Oh yeah. Sorry, yeah. He agrees to take them to his hidden base, which has since been turned into a luxury planet. So we've got. I thought it was like a tourist location, which I guess it is. You've got people probably snapping photographs and whatnot, but it's a health spa. It's been repurposed into that. Interesting concept, but it was reminding me of Canto Bite from Last Jedi, which isn't a good thing to be reminded of, in my opinion. So there were some slapsticky moments in this episode that did sort of mirror the antics of that part of The Last Jedi, which I didn't really care for. It's mostly some of the side characters, like the extras and some of the actors. Just the performances seem a bit hokey, and I want to say like a kid's show, which I know it is, and I can't harp on it too much for that because I know that it is geared more towards a younger audience, but it really sucks when you've got actors like Jude Law who are really fucking trying and is actually like an interesting character, but everything around it doesn't feel Star Wars to me. Even the kid actors, I still don't really care about our cast of, our crew, essentially. And that's a big thing. Like when you look at some of these older films like E.T., Goonies, Stand By Me, especially, my God, the performances in there and the chemistry between the kids and the personalities of them really shines through, even in things like Stranger Things, which started great and then I thought it really dipped off. But even then, like the cast of characters was great. I am getting none of that sort of like dramatic chops from any of them because a lot of the kids in those older 80s movies seemed older beyond their years. They were sort of kids acting like adults. And that was the appeal. And that's why it was kind of fun to hear them have this back and forth and whatnot. I'm not really getting that.
They're just kind of playing kids.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you got the one who's the grown-up-ish one, and then you've got the one who is a calculator.
Yeah. So you've essentially got
like in the 80s movies.
Yeah, you've got like Data, Short Round from Temple of Doom. You've got that character who's the tech wizard. You've got the girl who's sort of like the tomboyish one, who's sort of the leader of the pack, and then you've got Wim, who's wants to be a hero but is quite cowardly and quite wimpy, I suppose, is just sort of like a generic kid. And then you've got Neil, who's like the overweight, nerdy one of the group. So they've got personality types, but I'm just not getting. There's not really many scenes where they're all interacting, or it could be the acting, could be the performances, it could be the directing, could be the script. I don't know. It could be any number of those things, but I'm just not getting that. And I feel like that's where the heart of this should be, because that's inherently what the heart of all of those 80s projects were. It was the acting talent you had and the kids and the chemistry they have with everyone. But yeah, just thought it was worth noticing. Then they get in disguise.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. You see, I can't comment much on those movies. I was never a fan.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Oh god, and then we have Jude Law's incredible plan to get them into the
wise
spa.
elders.
This was awful, man. Explain the whole elders thing. What his plan is.
Put them in robes and call them elders, and say they are incapable. They're biologically incapable of speaking basic. So he has to translate for them and speak their language, which
So it
is
doesn't
just
give so they don't give the game away that
gibberish.
the kids are kids because they will be speaking basic in kids language. He has them speak gibberish in a kid's voice. Master criminal. Wonderful.
Well, they don't speak. He just speaks at them in a childish gibberish
They
voice.
replied for that one bit though where
Oh,
they
did
reply
they?
in gibberish. Yeah. Yeah, they did.
Oh, dear
So
God.
at this very high society,
McClunky.
it's very McClunky. This very high society health spa, there's no kind of security or
Well,
face recognition
yeah.
technology to get in or whatnot. You don't have to have a passport or a club card or be some kind of exclusive member in order to get into this place. You can just show up on
Well,
a
you needed
fucking
a
ship
reservation.
and just get in and just be like, oh yeah, this is a pack of elders that I'm with who are quite clearly kids. It reminds me of that awful bit from the Kenobi series where when he escapes like the evil prison compound, he just bundles Leia
Yeah.
underneath a trench coat.
Yeah, that's some Clark Kent level disguise.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. So this is why I probably did enjoy this episode more than the previous one, and that's probably most really just down to the ending and where it sets us up. But there was a lot more slapsticky shit in this one, which I really didn't care for. And huge leaps in logic, and just how in absolute disarray the organization at this health spa is, and the security and everything that transpires in this.
Also, when they said there were no kids allowed, were you expecting to see hookers?
Maybe, I don't know. I wasn't thinking about that. Maybe.
I thought we'd see I didn't realize. I thought we were going to see somewhere where kids wouldn't be allowed, not what kids think a place where kids aren't allowed is.
Mm-hmm. It's weird because it's meant to be this, high society place, this high society health spa,
Strong drinks.
but you get there and it almost looks like the spa from the opening of At World's End, Pirates of the Caribbean, and you've got people literally growing mushrooms on their face from being in the sauna in the spa with Sao Feng. Welcome to Singapore. That bit.
Yeah,
And I thought,
yeah, I
the
remember.
people that frequent there, you've got like a Jabba the Hutt that's just like eating the staff, apparently there, which seems
It does
insane
it
to me.
regularly from what I've seen, from what I heard.
You've got the giant tusk walrus motherfucker in like the basement in the dark, and it's really creepy. And
Oh, are you talking about Cthulhu? Cthulhups?
yes, that guy.
I love that guy.
This is going to
I'm
be a bit of a
surprised he
deep cut
went
reference.
walrus.
He's got like the mustache and sort of the tusks like a walrus.
He's Cthulhu. He's
Well, yeah,
he's charming 50s Cthulhu with the tentacle mustache.
with a walrus race, right? I am going to this is going to be a deep cut right now, and I don't
Those aren't
know what
tusks, they're tentacles.
I don't know what Pingu's influence is like across the pond. Have you heard of Pingu, the charming little plasticine penguin character on the hit kids TV show from like either the late 80s into the 90s?
I think I'm familiar with the concept.
Okay, there's an episode. I'm just about to upload the picture right now. There is an episode which is absolute nightmare fuel and has ingrained its way into my mind and periodically terrifies me whenever I think about it. Let me just bring up the picture now. What did I save it as? Oh my god. So, yeah, this lives rent-free in my mind. Right, hang on, I've got it. This is what I get when I don't save it as a proper file name. So, Pingu has a dream sequence, and this terrifying creature emerges from the icy depths, and it really reminded me of this character. I'm going to show it now. That character. You see it? Yeah, don't stare too hard because it stares back. Yeah. Nightmare fuel. But he looked a lot like this guy. You're welcome. I'm right though, right? Yeah, yeah. I hear you. And then, as they're about to check in, Jude Law is accosted by a Scottish
Oh my
alien
god.
lady with wearing contact lenses who recognizes Jude Law and
By
his
another
previous
name.
exploits by another name. I can't remember what the other name was actually now.
Dash something.
Rengar? Rendar?
No, it's not Dash Rendar.
Uh, and she's like, Jude, I know you. I can't do a Scottish accent. Oh, hi to do. Whoopsie daisy. Haggis. Freedom. Etc. And it always takes me out of Star Wars whenever you've got a character speaking in Scottish. Like the original Jabba the Hutt before they added the CGI over him was a Scottish dude. And then you have the guy in episode 7 who's like, that BB unit, the First Order is looking for it. Han
For one
Solo.
just like it.
Yeah.
And
It, al-
two prisoners.
it
Or
always
no,
takes
not prisoners, fugitives.
it always takes me the fresh fuck out of Star Wars. And I don't know why, because you have Americans in there, you have British. So what's another regional accent, right? It's fine, but I don't know. It always reminds
Australians on Naboo.
in some edits, yes. Um
It's
anyway,
perfect.
she I guess this is like a safe haven. She says, like, don't worry, I'm not working, but it spooks the hell out of Jude Law, and he's like, right, she's going to be sending pirates here. We need to get the hell off this fucking planet. Then we cut to the CGI hut in mud. Now, this bothers me because with the sequel trilogy, I will say this to them. They have had this push, and this was probably trying to distance themselves from the prequels, and the prequels are Satan and terrible and awful in every way. The original trilogy is the best. We're going to do right by the original trilogy. There has been a bigger push to use more practical stuff, more puppets, more costumes. There is still CGI in there, but when there is, I'm like, I question why, because it's like, just build a fucking hut puppet. If you're gonna have that scene at all, you can build a hut puppet. The CGI ones just look really bad. They look like the ones in Book of Boba Fett that are on that kind of plateau thing that was carried in the brother and sister characters. I'm like,
Yeah, I
no,
feel like
just build puppets.
CGI huts have looked about as good as they're gonna look for the past
Yeah,
13 years.
it bothers me, man. It's like, if you're gonna keep
I know, no, I'm
doing all
saying
these
like
puppets and
because like
costumes,
yeah,
just do it.
it seems like CGI huts peaked in like 2004 or 2011. I forget which
The
one.
the updated special edition version you're referring to, right?
I know, but I don't know which one.
I think that was 2004, where they added a bit more texture on Jabba. Yeah, 2004.
They did way more than that. They used a completely different model.
They may have refined it a little bit more, maybe for 2011, and cleaned it up a little
Maybe
bit more, perhaps. But I'm not sure. But essentially, 2004. Yeah.
funky.
So we just have all of this stuff, and then I don't know. The kids are trying to get to like the secret base, aren't they? They have to split up because they don't quite know where it is. Or does Jude Law go to try and fight some guys off as the kids try and find where the base is? Or they're not quite sure where the base exactly is. It could be one of two locations, so they have to split up.
They, they're just looking. They're just splitting up and looking for clues.
Yeah. Essentially, they end up together anyway, and they make their way into sort of like the hidden caves.
Yeah.
And there's the giant walrus or Cthulhu video game level. This reminded me so much of episode 9. You know, like the fucking giant snake that Ray heals, and he's like, "Thank you," and then he clears a path for them to like move to the next
A
level.
very video game, like non-violence route.
They consult with the wise walrus guy, and then he's like, God speed you on your journey, dear travelers. And then he smashes a
I
pathway for
give
them
this
to escape.
walrus guy a lot of credit because he wasn't really like he didn't seem like this wise sage to give them wisdom on. Although he does smell them and say, "Hey, don't trust Jude Law."
Yeah, they should have listened to Giant Walrus Man. But anyway, he clears a path
Mhm.
for them, and then so damaging property of the place. That's going on his tab, apparently. That motherfucker is big. How does he get down there?
I mean, it seems like that. I mean, what do you mean? how does he get down there? It seemed like there was room.
It was a cavern, but it was like a mud bath down there, wasn't it? So it was another part of the spa, I'm guessing. I don't know if it was like a private suite just for him or for species like himself. We've never seen these species before
maybe
in Star Wars.
they
Probably
can't
a
do
good
the
thing.
sun or something.
Yeah. But it just
But
looks.
I would just say he probably doesn't have bones, so that would probably help him leave.
I mean, walruses have bones. I'm pretty sure Cthulhu has bones.
He's a squid.
He's got like the mustachy, walrusy, tusky things in his face.
Those are tentacles. He's Cthulhu. It's Cthulhu. That's literally his name.
Fair enough. Somehow more terrifying than Cthulhu, actually. I mean, Cthulhu's just like a Davy Jones face. He's big. He's just kind of Davy Jones face. Like that's fine.
Yeah, I
he
mean
looks
that's
like
not
a
really
squid
what he
face.
looks like. The whole point is that like we can't comprehend what he actually looks like, and so that's just what we kind of figure out. The thing is, Cthulhu, the Call of Cthulhu, it's good, but at the end they just hit him with a boat and he dies again.
It's like
he's
Ursula from The Little
awakened for
Mermaid.
like 5 minutes, gets hit with a boat, and it's over.
I've never read those books, actually. I really need to. It's the Necronomicon or something it's called, the complete collection of them or something.
I mean, that would probably be what somebody would name that.
And someone like Sam Raimi would see and take inspiration from for another trilogy, which is great. The Spider-Man trilogy, also starring Bruce Campbell. And Ted Raimi as well. Yeah.
Helps maintain the illusion. We're not talking about Spider-Man again.
What are we going to call this guy? Dr. Octopus.
We're not talking about...
Yeah,
we're not talking about Spider-Man.
Okay. I'm sorry. Back to pirates. Back to Star Wars.
An hour last year.
I know we did. It was glorious. So the pirates land in pursuit of Jude Law. We now have our urgency. We now have our ticking clock. We got to get the fresh fuck out of here before these pirates get us and kill us. Then we have our Goonies / Last Crusade booby trap scene where there's a decapitation device, and it reminds me of the the kneel before God part and the spinny blades.
Neil.
They could have done something with that, and they didn't do anything with that. Why didn't they do anything with that? Jude Law says, "Kneel," and the blue elephant goes, "What?" And he goes, "No, duck." And then they could. I don't know. I'm just throwing some ideas out there, man. You know.
Okay. When they go down, we could just synth Jude Law yelling "Neil," and then Neil saying what?
Huh? Yeah.
Like that would not be hard.
Yeah. So they get past the booby traps, which is super easy, barely a convenience. Then they get to like an acid bath, and I actually kind of tuned out a little bit here. I forgot how they worked out the riddle to this place because he takes a gold piece and
it was on the ceiling. It says you have to make the ultimate sacrifice to proceed.
And the ultimate sacrifice for a pirate is gold and
it's money, yeah, because you have a lot to learn about pirates.
Okay, so then you throw some Republic credits in there, and then it spits it back out. Republic credits are no good here. I need something more real. And then they have the balloons.
That's a good point.
I guess. Yeah, is it picky about currency? What about currency that hadn't been invented at that point, maybe, or wasn't in circulation? What if you have like a French franc that you throw in and it spits out? It's like, no, I'm sorry, oh no, it's the other way around. You throw a euro in, it's like, this was built way the fuck back. You know, you got to throw a French franc in.
You've got to throw, you've got to find a Roman denarius.
We're still using Deutschmarks, baby. Like, come on.
Or a Greek drachma.
Yes, yeah. But anyway, luckily they have some of the piratey doubloons, and they throw it in and goes down the plug hole, and they may pass. And then we find a treasure hoard, I guess, in some way, like a piratey base. There's some booty in there. There's some niceties.
Is there a sickness upon it?
What? This treasure hoard feels sick. as if a disease lies
No,
upon it.
a sickness lies upon that treasure hoard.
Oh, yeah. Well, it does. Jude Law does turn evil at the thought of more gold, infinite gold. In fact,
drove Jude Law mad.
it's crate dragon sickness. That's what we've got going on in this universe right now.
Jesus.
And the kid immediately sees a lightsaber. It is the weapon of a Jedi. Is that Jude Law's lightsaber?
No.
It's just a lightsaber that they'd pillaged.
Yeah, it's just it. Yeah, those a kyber crystal is those are valuable.
Mm-hmm. I was trying to see if it was a design that we'd seen before. It kind of has like a bit of a Mace Windu look to it. It's got some sort of like gold
kind of
on
High
it a little
Republic.
bit. Yeah.
Looks, yeah.
But they have a lightsaber, which
looks older.
And then we find
he pillaged from a tomb.
We find another map to At-Aten. I'm like, wow. I joked a couple of weeks ago that we would be doing the Old Republic shit of we're gonna go to every single one of these planets and find another map to another fucking location. I've mentioned multiple times I am done with maps in Disney Star Wars era. Let's just do a Star Wars project that has no fucking maps in it, please. And we've had well, it shouldn't surprise me, it's the piratey one, but every episode we get a new map, we get a new coordinate, we get a new heading that we're going to, and it's always the wrong fucking heading. Well, we've got another one now, and it's the real At-Aten. We promised this time, guys, it's the real one. And there's a mint that can print infinite money. And I feel like that's just
what does that mean?
Yeah, I feel like that's just kind of how money works.
Inflation works.
But you don't. Yeah,
inflation happens.
But you don't do it because it sinks the economy. That's not how it works. Like
yeah.
you have the means to print infinite money. We do, but you don't do it at the same time. Like what?
But like, how is it? But the thing is, it seems like the money is like worth something. Like these Old Republic credits are made of a metal that's like valuable, which means it must be finite, right?
Apparently, it's I don't. That's all we've got at the moment, dude. That's the only information we've got to go on. There's infinite treasure, infinite money. I still think it's going to be like the real treasure with the friends we made along the way. Why do I need treasure when I've got the real treasure back home? I love you, son. I love you, Dad. And it's going to be that, isn't it?
No, the real treasure is going to be the Togruta Jedi that they find with a Mandalorian apprentice in another galaxy.
No. I still think they're going to bring Ahsoka back. I still think they're going to do it.
Maybe.
Hey, we got bath time. How you doing, man?
Time.
Merry Christmas, lads. Probably the worst night to tune into my channel, Chris, but I hope you enjoyed it. I did. No, it was good. It's fun, man. We'll definitely get you on the channel. You're definitely getting on at some point. Oh. So let me know a video topic you want to talk about, and yeah, we'll get you on a video, man. I know nothing about football, unfortunately. So I know nothing about football. Soccer, JX, for the layman.
I know.
You know, the sport football where you actually use... Yeah.
I literally said yesterday we could use AI to synth Aragorn kicking the mouth of Sauron's head like it's footy.
Or one of the stone giants kicking them sky high for a football. That's in the book.
Is that in the...
That's a line in the book.
Nice.
Maybe... So we've got to link that back to another... Goblin conquest, because we have the origin for the game of golf. Football exists in Tolkien's universe, so we now need an origin for that. There was King Aragorn, and he kicked the helmet so hard it sailed 100 yards through the air.
And broke his fucking toe.
Broke his fucking toes. And the game of football invented at the same time. That time says, oh, wicked, thanks. I'm really into monomyths and Joseph Campbell. So anything related to that, I can probably contribute. Well, we could maybe do a video on what Christopher Nolan's movie is going to be, I suppose.
Wait, what's the new... What's Nolan doing now?
Homer's The Odyssey. Starring Matt Damon. and a variety of non-Greek actors, including but not limited to, I think Timothy Chalamet's in there. I mean, of course he is. He's in fucking everything now. Zendaya, who isn't Greek, but she's
Also in
probably
everything.
the most Greek-looking one out of all of them, I suppose. Lupita Nyong'o, and who definitely isn't Greek, at least. It says, "Oh, the Odyssey." I think Star Trek was originally based on that. Oh, sorry, no, it's Tom Holland. Of course it is. Of course it is. And then who else was in there? Someone else who I'm forgetting, who also isn't Greek. But hey, we'll see. Let's give it a shot. At this point in the episode, Jude Law challenges, I don't know her name, the girl, the captain, the girl who'd proclaimed herself captain, to trial by combat, hand-to-hand combat, challenged her rank of captain. I'm like, so we could have done
That
this at any...
hand-to-hand bit is abandoned pretty quickly.
Yeah, I was so I was like grabbing my popcorn. I was like, right, let's fucking go. But then I thought there's a part of me, because Disney being what it is, I thought, is there a chance? Is there a
Jude
chance
Law's gonna
that
kill this
somehow
kid.
she's gonna sweep the leg Johnny like Karate Kid and just like knock him on his ass? And thankfully they don't do that, but I do like how he says, right, I'm going to challenge you to single combat. And she's like, what? And my kid is like, right, here we go. Just say you yield. I don't want to have to do this. Just say you give up. It's like, my give up. I like how he said that though. He just like, look, you haven't got a fucking chance. Just...
Here's the thing. I don't think he'd have done it. I think she should have called his bluff.
He basically
You
hits her
yield.
with... He hits her with the oh god, what's Michael Caine's character called in Austin Powers? His dad, Nigel Powers. He basically hits her with a, look at you. You haven't even got a name tag. Why don't you just fall down? Go on, son.
Have you any idea how many nameless henchmen I've eliminated in my career?
It's amazing.
Or anonymous henchmen.
Anonymous. That's it. So the combat starts, I guess. He holds her at cutlass point, I suppose. And
knife. It was called a knife earlier.
Then we have Finn and Rey moment here. We have the heroic moment. The person picking up a lightsaber for, I want to say the first time. Technically, it's the second time that Finn picks it up in the film, but whatever. And he picks it up and he stands there. I'm like, yes, character growth. This is his moment. He's dreamed of being a Jedi, of being a champion, a savior of, you know, the damsel in distress and whatnot. And he's going to save the fucking day against the villain. And he stands there and he ignites the lightsaber. And as to be expected, the first time you pick up a lightsaber, if you've never been trained, you're an absolute fuck up. And he ignites it the wrong way round and it almost fucking stabs him. It's like holding a chainsaw the wrong way round, and he like drops it to the floor. And I'm like, yeah, it's funny, that, isn't it?
The floor and hits everyone below and ends up hitting the core of the planet, causing the gravitational shift, which actually causes a chain reaction that kills annihilates all life on the planet.
The planet core. I did want to bring this up, actually. Oh, God, sorry.
Didn't Rick and Morty do that?
Oh, I've never seen it. I'm not sure.
I haven't seen the show in years.
Carl says, it made me laugh. The young girl has done nothing in the whole show apart from looked pissed off. Yeah, even in the recap, yeah, I clocked this too. It proclaimed, you're amazing. Yeah, you know, you got to get those fucking words of affirmation in there every single time. You know, don't show us how amazing she is or let it play out. You know, we've got to be told. We've got to be beaten over the head with that. You're so unique. You're amazing. No one's done the things that you've done before.
What did you do?
Yeah, exactly. She's just fucking nothing. She's just all of these characters are nothing characters. Not even her, all of them. But I was like, you know what? Fair play to the show. That kid is not Jedi trained. He's never picked up a fucking lightsaber in his life. And he's an absolute fuck up and he drops it straight away. I'm like, yeah, funny that, isn't it? With characters like Finn and Rey and the wonderful things that Rey does.
You gotta hang on. You gotta put it. There's a pretty obvious which way is up with the legacy saber.
Oh, you think it was just a question of knowing which way is up?
I don't imagine he'd have done particularly well if he actually like turned it on correctly and tried to fight Jude Law. But
Wim can't. Yeah, it's like episode 9. Wim can't tell which way's up out there, so he just ignites it upside down. Oh, there's a running theme here with Disney, isn't there? There's a running theme of maps to locations and MacGuffins and
not knowing which way is up.
Yeah, characters not knowing which way's up. But there we go. Bath Time says, "What's your current score for Skeleton Crew, or where it ranks in the Disney shows?" It has had a drop off with me with these last 2 episodes. Definitely, there was a bit of intrigue there, I suppose, but it definitely is more geared towards the kids. I'd still say that this show is better than Ahsoka. It's better than Book of Boba Fett. It's better than Kenobi. It's better than season 3 of Mando. Probably not as good as season 2 and season 1 of Mando, and obviously Andor's at the top of the stack for me. That's how I'd rank it with the shows.
Quality wise, it's probably just below like season 2 of Mando, but I really don't I can't be a very good judge of that. For me, I would probably rate it on the lower end, probably around the same area as Ahsoka.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah. Oh, this speaks volumes.
Ahsoka's better if you
No, I was going to say
better if you've seen Rebels.
The writings. The writing's better in this.
It should have been done better, but there's more to go off of. You know, like it messed up in quite a few ways, and also making it so it's better if you saw the previous show. Rebels doesn't do that. Clone Wars doesn't even do that.
What stuff do you have to go off in the Ahsoka show? Certainly not performances, right? Because Ahsoka just fucking stands there, monotone, boring, nothing at all like the Ahsoka we know from the shows. Sabine does exactly the same. Hera's awful.
That's Ahsoka from Rebels. Rebels Ahsoka, she's much more grown up.
By that you mean boring and monotone with no character?
No. You're quite right. Everybody is very is much more laid back in Ahsoka.
They absolute butcher Thrawn. Like they big him up, and he's awful and terrible.
Who's Thrawn?
Thrawn.
What's he do wrong?
Well, he's just shit, isn't he? He's just incompetent as fuck. Like they big up this villain the entire season, and he's just shit. Do you remember the bit where he trains every single gun from his Star Destroyer on them as they ride towards that doorway? And the plot armor is strong with this one, and they just fucking miss. And he's like, "Ah, yes, all part of my plan. It was to lure them to this room right here, full of zombies." And then they just kill all the zombies really easily. And he's like, "Ah, yes, all part of my plan. It's absolutely fine." That was him the whole show. He was just a fuck up constantly. He was like Maul, I suppose, in a way, like they do with Maul, how he's kind of like the whipping boy. He's just shit and terrible. And then, but Thrawn's got an army of zombies at the end. Woo!
Wait a second. Maul's just the whipping boy. You haven't watched a single episode of those Clone Wars episodes, have you?
Well, he's always a fuck up, isn't he?
Well, he's Sisyphus.
It's the rolling of the boulder to the top of the hill, rolling back down. Yeah.
But for that to happen, he still has to roll the boulder to the top.
Well, he does, but yeah, man doesn't see any results, does he? But yeah, Thrawn was just
no.
Swing
He
and a miss
sees
there.
Results. That's the point. He gets the results, and then the boulder rolls down the hill.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just what kind of keeps happening for him. But it's all he can do.
But yeah, Thrawn was fucking swing and a miss there. The only character that had any kind of intrigue was Baylan Skoll, but they just did nothing with him. Like there were moments where he'd gear up, and it's like, right, we've got an 8-episode show here. Think of all the things you could do with 8 episodes of a TV show, and they didn't do anything. He's just like a nothing character.
Wait a
Good
second.
Performance.
Maul of Sisyphus, where's that come from? Well, George
that was
Lucas,
in an interview, wasn't it?
Specifically, yeah, no. Sam Witwer described it, the conversation he had with Lucas. But to break it down, the pushing of the boulder up the hill is the acquiring of power.
This is pretty funny.
And so Maul is going to try and become as powerful as he can But what's inevitably going to happen is his superior in every way master is just going to push him down
Bath
because
Time
he was
says, oh, sorry.
only ever a Sith apprentice.
Bath Time says, even I've heard of Thrawn. I read one of the books in my youth hostel, and he's a quality villain. Oh, yeah, he is in those books, yes. But what you get in the show is the portly gentleman who is an absolute fuck up, who is not a master tactician at all, and is written awfully, just completely bastardized that villain. Yeah, this is it. So Carl says, yeah, I do like Neil, just find him funny with his naive enthusiasm. Although, have you noticed he's dressed in the same color clothes as Stewie from Family Guy? I didn't notice that, but now you mention that, I can kind of see that a little bit. He's in sort of like the braces, like, isn't he? Like the baby thing. I think he's in that, isn't he? Dirty Sanchez says, call me a pessimist, but as long as Kathleen Kennedy has the reins, I don't even bother watching new Star Wars shows anymore. Fair play, man. I mean, I'm going to be watching Andor season 2. That they recently said how much they spent on that. Did they spend like 640 mil on that? Did I see? I did see something outrageous like that.
I did not see.
Yes, yeah. Andor's eye-watering 645 million budget makes it the most expensive Star Wars thing ever made. Yeah. That's for season 2. So, you know, if they're spending that much money, the first season looked fantastic. Like some of the cinematography in that. I remember that. Was it like a constellation of stars they were flying through in like episode 3 or episode 4? It was like this Aurora Borealis thing that happened on this planet. Do you remember that? And the TIE fighters are chasing them through the stars, and it looked like a watercolor painting.
Something.
That was it, yeah. Looked amazing. Battime says, all in on Andor to save Star Wars. Apparently, and that ain't the show to do it. Because as much as I love season 1, no one fucking watched it. It's a side character, a nothing character in Rogue One, a film that, yeah, it made $1 billion, but yeah, I think, you know, and some people are negative on it as well, that I think the slower pace really did hurt it in those initial first 3 episodes. And even I at first was saying, you know, this is really boring, this was really sluggish, but it is a slow burn show. You stick with it, and it was phenomenal writing, probably some of the best writing we've seen in Star Wars, honestly, since the original trilogy. And I just really liked what they did with the Empire in that one. And they actually felt like a threat. I'm going to have to rewatch Andor again before season 2, which I'll love to do because it was great. Mm-hmm. So yeah, at this point, Jude Law becomes the captain. Smee, SM-33, joins with him, says like, sorry, captain's orders and whatnot. And he orders the droid to lock them up and try them for crimes of mutiny against the captain.
Intention to commit mutiny.
That's it, yeah. And he knows everything about mutiny as well from that opening scene of season 1. With the spiky things. They had spiky things that in the ship. I watched an edit of yours the other day that also had spiky things to get into a ship. It was a great moment.
Yes, they did. That's what I was thinking of that when I talked about them.
Yeah. The kids escape. Oh yeah, there's like a button, isn't there? Like a secret to the Batcave, Robin, and they hit the button and they drop through the floor like a trapdoor. And the final shot is, well, it pretty much was the thumbnail of this. Jude Law grabs the lightsaber and looks rather menacing. And I think he ignites it. He ignites it in like a really strange, awkward way at the end when we cut to credits. It's almost like he's going to have like an underhanded grip on it or something.
I see. I don't. It cut away right when he ignited it. I don't know how he did it.
Yeah. We're predicting color then, so you're going to say red?
No, it's blue.
Well, yeah, it's going to be a Jedi saber, surely, isn't it?
Well, we already saw it.
Oh, of course we did. My bad. Yeah, had a thick moment. Yeah.
I thought you were asking if he was going to bleed the crystal, and I'm like, no.
Well, apparently that's canon now from Acolyte, so.
I mean, that's been canon since 2015.
Yeah, but like that, is that how it actually bleeds? Is it like the lightsaber essentially is like a mood ring now? So I'm not feeling so Sithy today. I'm gonna have it green. No, I want it purple. You can't
No,
have
no,
it
no.
purple.
Once
I
you
want it
do it,
purple.
you've bled the crystal.
Oh, so
Like
it's
you've opened it. You've opened a wound. It's bleeding now.
you can't stop that bleeding.
Yeah. Well, you can, but you have to do it on purpose, and it becomes white.
Huh.
That's why Ahsoka has white lightsabers.
So hers went red and then she changed her mind and it went back to white.
The Inquisitor she killed.
The Inquisitor, like she killed an Inquisitor and her lightsabers turned red.
No, she killed an Inquisitor and took without a lightsaber because she leaves them behind at the end of Clone Wars.
Oh, okay. Were these the same lightsabers that were the helicopter blades and you could fly with?
I mean, she builds new sabers around the crystals from one of those. Yeah.
They need to do the helicopter blades in live action. They're
In live
fucking
action. What the hell,
cowards.
guys?
They're fucking cowards. Do it. Filoni, motherfucker, you were the one that invented that shit. Commit to it. I want Ahsoka in season 2 of the show with a helicopter lightsaber, and Thrawn's gonna be on like Thrawn's gonna be Thrawn's gonna have the Penguin's umbrella from Batman Returns that like flies him up in the air to get away, and I want
What's that supposed to do? Hypnotize me?
No, it's just supposed to give you a splendid headache. And I want Ballad of the Heroes, John Williams playing as Thrawn is on a flying umbrella and Ahsoka's like fighting with a lightsaber with her helicopter blade. That's what needs to happen. Because that's how lightsabers work. That's how propulsion works.
I real they have to do this. It's canon. It's real, so they might as well.
A simple fix for this would have been if the Inquisitors had lightsabers, but they were kind of like, you know, Thanos's double-bladed helicopter blade that he has in Endgame?
Well, yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah, if he had that and then they lit up red, not actually light beams of lightsabers, if it was actually a
Oh, so
propeller
there's
blade that
a
was there.
blade there. Okay.
Maybe like the Magna Guards have, like there's something there and it just kind of like electrifies. There you go, Filoni. That wasn't hard, was it? Yeah.
No, the way you had because the way a helicopter blade works is like it has you're pushing the air down. So
Yeah. Literally, that would have fixed it. It would still be dumb, but it would have fixed it.
would they still be lightsabers at that point?
Well, no, but why do they have to be?
So Ahsoka can get a crystal. So Ahsoka can score some crystal.
Nice. Bath Time says, I saw the Ahsoka show because I knew Thrawn was in it. And he never studied any artwork or culture yet, and had loads of zombies, which was just a complete misunderstanding, I think, of the character. Yeah, too right. And here's the thing, like, we differ on this opinion, but when Disney just scrapped all of the EU and the Legends and said, this is non-canon anymore, we're scrapping this, and then Kathleen Kennedy in an interview had the fucking audacity to say, we never had source material to work from. You know, we had to just go in and complete. I'm like, fuck you.
Why does she sound like Leia?
She's generic old lady woman person, so they all sound the same, don't they? And they all had work done, so they all have the old lady voice. Yeah, she was like, we didn't have any source material to work from. We went in completely cold. I'm like, actually, fuck you. And then what's the next thing they do? They keep Kathleen Kennedy, and then they just
you said that.
Oh, this was before Force Awakens, I believe. Like the press for that.
So she was talking about The Force Awakens, right?
The script writing for that and coming up with a story for it.
That probably
but then what's the next thing they do is they cherry pick constantly from the expanded universe and retell something.
No, that's totally what they should do, though.
Retool it, and they fuck it up.
Oh yeah, no, they should do it better generally. But the fact is, if they're gonna like take a character who is essentially Thrawn, like if you're gonna like. For example, the way Thrawn was first introduced into the new canon, he's just a name that's mentioned in the third Aftermath book.
Like they had the audacity to bring the same author back who wrote the Thrawn trilogy back in the day. Did he do that duology as well that came out? There's not the Hand of Thrawn or whatever it's called. Was the Thrawn trilogy, but then there was those two other ones,
okay.
right? Did he do those as well?
He did the Thrawn trilogy. He did the Thrawn duology. He did Outbound Flight. He did a number of short stories. He did a bunch of things. In canon, he's done 3 Thrawn books, and
yeah, that's it. Timothy Zahn, yeah. But the audacity to bring him back and say, yeah, we fucked your trilogy and everything else you've done out the window. Can you write another Thrawn book and like this one will be proper this time? It's like, no, how about you come up with a new character? Put your money where your mouth is. You scrapped all the old canon. Come up with some new shit.
But if you're but the way they introduce Thrawn in Aftermath is they have they show the map of the unknown regions and how that's where the First Order is going to come from and so on there. And they have all this information on the unknown regions collected from an alien. They make vague reference and they say Thrawn by name. That is what Thrawn did in the original, like in Legends canon. If there was going to be someone to do that, it was Thrawn. That means Thrawn needs to be canon. That means they need to do something with Thrawn, and they can't do what they already did.
How about you come up with just a new character, though, like a new Imperial leader? Why does it have to be Thrawn?
Because who is going to give Palpatine all this information on the unknown regions if not Thrawn? Why create a new character to serve the exact same purpose?
You scrapped all the old canon.
You deemed
so it's like we're gonna pluck that character, but we're now gonna make him a leader of zombies. And
dude, I've heard the exact opposite thing pointed out. People bitching about Rogue One. They're like, Jyn Erso is just Kyle Katarn.
I mean, she kind of is a little bit, but she's not an interesting character, Jyn Erso.
Kyle Katarn steals the Death Star plans in the first mission of Dark Forces.
Here you go, Disney. I've said this long ago. They shouldn't have done a show on Andor, and this is more up Disney Street. They should have done Jyn Erso, because she's a character that needs way more screen time to make interesting.
I agreed with you when I thought I knew what Andor was going to be, because what I thought Andor was going to be would have been better about Jyn Erso.
Yeah, we needed that. Was it 16-year time jump?
Andor, because a show about Jyn Erso is going to be a show about Jyn Erso and Saw Gerrera and so on.
Yeah,
but Andor is not about Andor. Andor is just in it.
Yeah.
And it's really good kind of because of that.
I've never seen the show, but what's that show that came out that's based on, is it League of Legends or something? It's animated. 2 seasons. Oh god, help me out. Help me out, someone in the comments, please. So this animated show based on the video game series, and season 1 was apparently phenomenal, like fantastic writing, incredible animation and whatnot. Arcane, thank you, Dirty Sanchez. Arcane. And season 2, they had a multi-season plan, but the makers wanted to move on to something else. What does that remind you of? And decided to rush and condense all of the series plans they had into a second and final series, which apparently has gone down like a lead balloon. Apparently it's awful, rushed, character arcs are just completely assassinated, terrible writing, vastly inferior to season 1. That's my only concern for Andor season 2. I trust in the showrunner and the writers, but it was originally going to be 5 seasons, which I do think is a little extraneous for Andor, I must admit, even though I like the show. And there's going to be like 3 episodes and then a year time jump. 3 episodes and a year time jump. I don't know how I feel about that. We're just going to have to wait and see how that goes over. But I am
3 episodes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because honestly, the way the first season handles 3 episodes at a time, I don't mind. Like I think it can do that pretty well. And if it's going to do 3 episodes and then jump us a year, past the butter. I don't know.
Bath Time says, when I heard that there was a show called Andor, I got it confused with Endor and thought it was going to be about Ewoks, like Planet of the Apes or something. Well, I mean, there was a show Ewoks.
Statue of C-3PO. You blew it up.
Oh, dude, you need to AI that, please. I need to see that. But I mean, yeah, we've been a bit spoilt with Ewoks, haven't we? There was the animated Ewok show, which I've never seen, and then there were the 2 live-action Ewok films, which I still haven't seen. I think that's the only live-action Star Wars content I've never actually watched.
I have seen Battle for Endor, and I've seen Caravan of Courage.
I have seen things you people wouldn't believe. Are they worth doing a live stream watch along on at some point if we're really strapped for Star Wars content? Oh, okay.
You're breaking up.
Oh, it can't be as bad as the holiday special, can it?
Holiday special. You can
Is it
laugh
like they're
your way
both?
through.
Yeah. Is it that it's bad, but it's more boring bad than the holiday special?
Okay, here's the thing. Main characters are kids.
Oh.
There's a reason I don't like this show.
And none of them say wizard at any point, do they? This was pre-wizard.
This was pre-wizard. They might mention a wizard.
We got another mention of wizard in this episode today when they see like the penthouse suite.
It was pretty wisdom. Pretty wisdom. Pretty
Wizard.
wizard.
You combined Wim and wizard. Wim was the one who said wizard, so
Try saying that when you're smashed.
Yeah, right. Battime says, I've seen them as a kid. Only thing they showed on BBC Scotland for some reason. Absolute dreadful shows. Oh, there was Droids as well, wasn't there? The animated one of that, which, again, I haven't seen that either.
Yeah, I have not seen that either, actually.
I got very upset when they didn't show Monkey Magic, but did show Caravan of Courage. I keep wanting to say Caravan of Garbage because I'm subscribed to that channel and they're fucking great.
I've gotten kind of tired of their format.
I prefer a drunken rewatch of the holiday special any day over a Last Jedi rewatch. Well, I have pitched that to you, JX. There is a 4K upscaled restoration of the holiday special.
I watched it yesterday. It's missing 2 bits.
Oh, what? Which bits?
Yeah, it's missing the whole Jefferson Starship music video. Right. And it's missing the cartoon.
Oh, is it just difficult to clean up? Or...
The cartoon is the best. The cartoon is the easiest thing to get in high quality.
Huh. Wonder why that is.
Because it was like officially released on a disc.
Is the person like not commented on why that was missing, or?
I couldn't. It was on TV. It was on my TV, so I couldn't read the comments.
Right, watching the original version then. At some point,
yeah, no, there are
confirmation. At some point, we will do it. Right, guys, I think we're going to round off here. So next week, it's actually going to be on New Year's Day, the next episode. So I don't know if we're going to work that. I don't know if you're busy on New Year's Day. We'll figure it out anyway. But it's the Bryce Dallas Howard episode.
Oh yeah,
that was the worst episode of one of the worst episodes of Mando season 1. But then did she do a half decent one for season 2? The one she did for season 1 was episode 4, which is the one that I've referred to with the villagers with the ATST.
Well, you mentioned Pretty Penny.
Yeah, Pretty Penny. Let me have a look at her directing, actually, see if we can narrow down which episode it was.
Oh, directing. I had no idea what you were talking about.
Yeah, Ron Howard's daughter. Director of The Grinch, which
really?
I watched today. Yeah, didn't you know that?
Good for you.
And her uncle is Clint Howard.
Good for him.
Oh, good for you. Yeah, Bryce Dallas Howard did that one, Sanctuary, and then in season 2, she did the Heiress, whichever that one was. The Frog Lady is reunited with her husband. I vaguely remember that. The Quarren. Oh, it was the one with the pirates, wasn't it?
Oh, yes. I remember that. Forgot that was that season.
She did that one anyway, and then she did in season 3, Guns for Hire. Oh no, it wasn't. Was this the one with? Oh God, she directed the Jack Black and Lizzo episode. We're fucked. We're actually fucked. Are we gonna get him in the next episode? He's just gonna show up like, I am Steve, and he's gonna be in his same blue t-shirt with like the fucking beard. He hasn't changed. We can't get Lizzo in it now because like she's slimmed down a lot now. Or maybe we could just add like...
Wasn't she also canceled?
Yeah, she was. Well, Jack Black was as well because Tenacious D made a joke about how it's fun to try and assassinate Donald Trump.
No, Kyle Gass was canceled.
Well, Kyle Gass, yeah.
Yeah.
And just to, he threw his friend under the bus and...
Yeah, really.
Just so he could still have a Hollywood career in Minecraft, the movie. And probably the next Jumanji. Carl says, I blame Dallas for that. I think she was just thrown Jack Black and said, make it work. Yeah, well, that was Favreau's idea. Wonderful idea to get Jack Black and Lizzo in there. So thank him for that. The great custodian of live action Star Wars that he is.
Bath time.
I totally agree.
Fortunate Son.
Some folks are born made away from... I'm going to go and listen to that song right now. Right, guys, we're going to round off. It is Christmas night. I'm going to go eat a few more snacks and get a bit more guitar practice in. I'm sure you've got things to handle as well. Before we jump off, JX, where can people find you? What are you currently working on? Let's nail this.
I am at youtube.com/JXEditor. I am currently working on a fan edit of the Clone Wars that will be... Oh my god, we're doing it. That will be turning it into a interquel between episodes 2 and 3 with ties back to all 3 prequels. You're good. You did it.
Fucking nailed it. You never told me when to cap it. You just said to keep it going. That's what I was doing.
All right. I thought you could see the screen.
But yeah, head on over there.
I was aiming for a Christmas release, but it'll probably be closer to New Year's just because we took a look at it. I may have gone too far in a few places, and I can't really remove certain elements outright. But what I can do is I can lessen the effects of them.
Diminish.
Because it's stylistically designed to be a certain way.
You go from one scene which is slightly comedic with Jar Jar to rescue. Head on over there, give him a subscribe. It's Christmas. Head on over there and give him a subscribe. Why not? And while you're at it, why don't you subscribe to this channel as well if you're just discovering this? I know we've got our usual motley crew of subscribers there, but if you are discovering this, there's a lot more planned for the channel, a lot of content I've got planned, more retrospectives and whatnot. What is going to be my next video? I did watch the new Wallace and Gromit today on BBC One, so I might do a review of that at some point. Failing that, it's probably going to be the Disney review, I expect, next week, perhaps, with Dale, which is going to be Raya and the Last Dragon. And yeah, we're into 2025, so exciting stuff. Thank you to everyone that's jumped on tonight. I really appreciate you guys. And while you're at it, let us know your thoughts on Skeleton Crew as well, where you're at with this one. Dirty Sanchez, that's totally cool. Drop a comment. I'll get to it after this. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your Christmas, Boxing Day, whatnot, and we'll catch you on the next video. Take care, guys.